Hi guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the Spurs Talk Show. I'm Sean Butler. I hope you're all very well. I was going to say happy and healthy. You for sure might be healthy, but I don't know. Are you happy after that particular performance against Milan? The game has just finished. It's 11:20 at night. I'll be dropping this early for you tomorrow morning. I was going to talk about it on my Tottenham walk, but I've got other things to talk about then, so I thought I'd get this out of the way now. But immediate thoughts. We lost the game 1-0. We're still very much in the tie. Milan, bang average, in my opinion, with the exception of a couple of very talented players. They didn't particularly play very well. Tottenham, I think were their equal on the night. I don't think that there was much between the two teams. I don't think you could say that we deserved anything more from the game than we got. We didn't challenge their goalkeeper in any meaningful way. But I do think we can take lots of mini positives that actually are not that mini in isolation. For me personally, guys, I don't think that Tottenham are going to go deep in the Champions League. I think we have every chance of getting past Milan, but I don't know who will be in the final 8, but whoever it is that we'll be playing against are probably going to have a far better team than us, a far better squad than us, a far better ability to play convincing football than us. And so I think that we're probably kicking the can down the road and just kind of walking down this path as a fait accompli. Stranger things have happened. And I'm not saying that we should in any way dismiss the relevance or the importance of nights like this evening to see where we're at. And I do think that there was a lot of questions that I had going in, a lot of questions that I was scared of the answers to. How are we going to be able to cope in the midfield with Ollie Skip and Pape Sarr, knowing that we don't have Bentancur for the rest of the season, knowing that we don't have Bissouma for several months? Who is it that's going to be able to step up and help out Pierre-Emile Højbjerg? Tonight was a night to see and witness, if not a good performance from the team, then good performances from specific individuals that needed to give us something to grab onto that can show us some positives of how the rest of the season could turn out. And I think we saw them. Pape Sarr, to me, was exceptional. A 19-year-old kid playing his Champions League debut, I believe, for Tottenham Hotspur, pretty sure. Certainly the first time I think he's played 90 minutes alongside Ollie Skip. He had no senior leadership around him. And the pair of them got together and did their job against some very established and experienced midfielders in Milan's midfield. If there was a midfield battle, the midfield battle was won by Tottenham. To me, I've had disagreements in WhatsApp groups ever since the game. I walked away from the game thinking that Tottenham were the better side. I've since been kind of convinced, I guess, from people that are saying, well, how can you say that we deserved any more than a loss when they definitely deserved their goal and we didn't challenge their keeper? And that, I think, is problems that we have to accept and acknowledge. And on reflection, I think that those people that told me that are right, that we didn't deserve anything more from the game than we got. But I don't blame our midfield and I don't blame those two players. Tonight, I was looking and I was worried, I was concerned. How are these two going to be able to step up and handle it? Come of the hour, come of the man. Pressure can create diamonds or it can crush paper cups. I thought Pape Sarr was exceptional. I thought Ollie Skip was kind of working in the shadow of Pape Sarr a little bit, but I thought he was also very accomplished in doing what he needed to do. For a team that was trying to create counterattacks, they maybe got 3 or 4 into good positions, but they had 9 or 10 chances. And, there were 3 or 4 times where both Pape Sarr and Ollie Skip combined to quash that threat and to thwart those opportunities. And for me, I think those two can hold their heads up incredibly high. And I think Tottenham Hotspur fans should be looking tonight and waking up tomorrow morning, not necessarily reflecting on the game, not necessarily reflecting on the performance that really wasn't there from the guys up the top end of the pitch, but looking at the individual performances from the players that we need for the rest of this season. If we're going to get anything out of this season, an FA Cup success, or at least a deep run, somehow still trying to stay relevant in the top 4 conversation, we need players like Pape Sarr and Ollie Skip to be able to take and grasp the opportunity with both hands. And I think tonight they absolutely did that. They were the positives. Emerson Royale was a positive. I thought he handled as best he could Teo Hernandez, a brilliant player, by the way, a big, strapping, strong, powerful, fast, tricky, technical player, Teo Hernandez, and Rafael Leao in front of him. It was always going to be difficult. Can you imagine Pedro Porro, all 5'7" of him, being put in to do that job? He would have been torn apart by that ridiculous strength and height that left-hand side of Milan have. I thought, unfortunately, the player that we looked towards in the center of our defense to step up and to take the lead was probably the weakest of the three. I thought Cuti Romero was under par again and sloppy for the first goal. He shouldn't have been bullied off the ball like he was. The yellow card that he gave away, that again, that kind of crazy instinct of his is a worry for me. There's red cards in this guy's future. He needs to nip it in the bud. He needs to control that aggression because it looked a hell of a lot similar to what happened at Manchester City a couple of weeks ago. That aggression that is uncontrolled that can lead to disasters for us. I love him. I love the aggression. It's necessary. And when bottled and controlled well, can be a very useful tool. But if left to kind of run riot, is a worry and it's a hindrance. I didn't think he had his best game. I thought Dyer and Longley were okay. I don't blame Fraser Foster for the first goal at all. I do worry a little bit about his ability to anticipate and to predict where the ball's going to go and when to come forward and when to stay back. There's something we can talk about that this week, but I don't think Fraser Foster did too much wrong tonight. And I thought, Longley was pretty good on the ball as well. I thought when Ben Davies came on, even though I actually have Ben Davies' back more than most people, I thought he was scruffy and a little bit disjointed on the ball. And he gave the ball away a few too many times. Ivan Perisic. Listen, we looked for him to step up from set pieces. And tonight there was opportunities. We had enough corners, enough free kicks in the first half to be able to cause mayhem. Their goalkeeper is a disaster waiting to happen. I think he's fourth choice. Tiramisu, I'm going to call him. He is vulnerable from all sorts of different areas, set pieces. And yet Perisic, the one thing that we come to rely from him is his ability to find assists from set pieces, free kicks and corner kicks. Didn't have it tonight. Didn't have it. Didn't think he played badly, but in the area that we needed him to step up, he wasn't there. And now, look, I'm going to push forward now and talk about the front three. For me, guys, this is where we screwed up. All three of them, awful, off the point. Heung-min Son, I love the fact that he's trying his heart and soul to get his form back. But for me, it comes across as a 10-year-old in a playground who, when he gets the ball, refuses to pass. He wants to dribble around everybody and score the worldie. He needs to recognize that there is a time to be dominant and there's a time to release the ball. And right now he crosses that line every single time, 5, 6, 7 times today, 5, 6, 7 times against Leicester. It happens week in, week out. He is over-egging the pudding all the time when he gets the ball. His first thought is to run with it, and that shouldn't be always his go-to. It's predictable. It's easy to anticipate. It's easy to intercept, and he was a problem tonight. Decky on the right-hand side. Again, another woeful performance from him. He really, really isn't his usual self since he's coming back from his injury. And I'm going to say it now. I said it on the Irish Hotspur. I think that there is a psychological barrier with him since he's come back from his hamstring injuries. He doesn't want to drop into that third gear when he's running, making sprints. He doesn't want to give anything more than 60, 70% of his bottom line pace because I think he's worried about the reoccurrence of a hammy. And I understand it. I've been there. Same thing I think might happen with Bentancur. When you come back from injuries that are specific to certain parts of your body never really feels the same and your mind never really trusts your body. It's a problem. He had chances tonight to go at their defense and he didn't put in the sprinting shift that I was looking for. I think he's got a little bit of doubt in his mind about whether or not he trusts his hamstrings. That's an issue. His confidence isn't quite there. His decision-making is well off the ball. Both of those could have and should have been taken off in the 50th minute of the game and given Richarlison and Danjuma some time. Harry Kane. Listen, for me, Harry Kane, this is not the first time. It won't be the last time. I almost feel like there's a little bit of a template emerging around how to handle Harry Kane. We saw it against Leicester. Harry Souttar and Faish When they dominate him in the air, Tottenham look to pop the ball up all the time, put the ball up towards him. If he wins that ball and gets help from the referee drawing fouls, Tottenham can do things. If you're not getting the support from the referee, or if those defenders can bully him and do it successfully and execute that style effectively, Harry Kane breaks down and Tottenham break down. This is a worry for me because it was very, very obvious against Leicester. It was very obvious tonight. I thought Simon Kjaer did his job very, very well. He should have been booked in the first half for 3 or 4 consistent fouls. Very aggressive, very man-handling style defensive effort from him. He is an old school type of centre-back. He's been around the block. He knows how to handle that sort of thing. And Tottenham didn't get the protection from the referee. And as a consequence, Harry Kane was largely ineffective. Tonight, the reason why we were so poor was because of the areas of the pitch where our most experienced, most talented, most skillful players underperformed. And once again, our manager, in my opinion, set the team up in a way that it could have worked, but as soon as it didn't work, he needs to pivot earlier than he does. Leaving Sonny on the pitch until the 80th minute is a disgrace. Both of him and Decky could have been taken off, should have been taken off just after halftime. We're trying to be, we're still in the game. We're still in this tie. All is not lost. Now, whether or not you feel the same as I do, let me know in the comments. But what I would say is how you feel about this is determined by whether or not you want to see it as a glass half full or a glass half empty. If you want to focus on the negatives, there are many. If you want to focus on the inability to create anything, if you want to focus on our front three not really doing anything in terms of chemistry or synchronicity, then that argument is there and it's easy to be made. Or you can look at the positives. And the positives are that if you're going to fix any area, Conte has the option to change things up in those areas at the front end of the pitch. Where he doesn't have the options, where the real risk is whether or not our midfield could handle the pressure tonight. And to me, come of the hour, come of the man, I thought Pape Matar Sarr has emerged as an absolute star at 19 years old, putting in a performance like that. It gives me goosebumps. He was fantastic defensively. He was fantastic offensively. He had the ability to ping passes left and right. He had the confidence to take on shots from 30 yards, the audacity to take on shots from 30 yards at 19 years old. His ability to interpret and anticipate the passing of the Milan players was second to none. And I don't want to take the shine off of Ollie Skipp. Ollie Skipp didn't have the same night as Pape Sarr, but Ollie Skipp did a lot of the work off the ball, intercepting and breaking down those counter-attacking plays. If the front three can figure it out, can get back to their usual old self, our midfield has got things to be positive. Højbjerg is back. And when you look at a fourth choice midfielder in Pape Sarr and a fifth choice midfielder in Ollie Skipp, and you reflect on that reality against Milan, playing together for the first time, playing in the Champions League for the first time, and putting in a duo performance like that, Tottenham have got options, and those two should be absolutely proud, and you two should be absolutely delighted that these two stepped up and they grabbed the opportunity, and both of them have become, in my opinion, a reason and a justification to think that our season is not over. There's lots of things to be worried about, for sure. Lots of problems. We are by no means out of the woods. But what I was looking for more than anything else tonight was to see how those two were going to handle the pressure. And I think maybe we just got one or two diamonds there. Pape Sarr, for sure. Ollie Skipp is still a work in progress. Let me know your thoughts, guys. I'm going to leave it there. I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning. Like, share, and subscribe. And as always, come on, you Spurs.